What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So in this video, we need to talk about Terra Luna Classic. Now, if you didn't know, the Terra Rebels released a roadmap today, and I didn't fully go through it. I went through it on the live stream to talk about a few things, but Edward Kim released an article talking about the burn and rebuild of Luna Classic. And I think we need to go through that article. Luckily, there is a listen feature, so we can listen to it rather than me reading it, which may take longer than the 8-minute read that they say it takes because, it's just me. That's just how it goes. I tend to overanalyze things and I see words at the end of the sentence versus the beginning. It happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into listening to it, and then when we have to stop it, we will stop it. When we have to if we want to let it run all the way through, we'll let it run all the way through. But it is an 8-minute read, so it should take up majority of this video. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you guys check out some of the links down below. It does help out the channel quite a bit. And if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, feel free to follow me on Twitter at Perry8K. Don't forget about my Patreon link in the description. Oh, and one more thing, we just started a new channel. Well, technically it's not new, it's an old channel. I just revamped an old channel and turned it into more of like a crypto suggestions thing, to where a lot of people have different crypto suggestions they want to look at. Quant or look at Ethereum or Bitcoin, and they want to know what my opinion is on that. So I'll do full breakdowns on that, early access on Patreon. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So again, Edward Kim released this article today talking about the burn and rebuild of Terra Luna Classic, and I think it's very, very interesting. So let's go through the article and just give it a listen.
Burn and rebuild Luna Classic. On September 15, Terra Classic Governance Proposal 4661 passed with a 99.88% yes vote to enable a 1.2% tax and burn on all transactions on chain. The parameter was successfully activated on the following epoch of the blockchain on September 20. Since then, we have burned over 2 billion LUNC in the past week, compared to 4B in the past 4 months. In the following days, as SEXs and DApps adjust to the change, we will continue to monitor the burn and share the results. But one thing to note, and celebrate, is Luna Classic is now officially deflationary. Looking back from where we started, we have passed some major milestones, including the installation of V22 and the delivery of the 1.2% tax burn. We have successfully transitioned from the emergency phase to the rebuild stage. Here we outline the 3 major objectives we are working on: rebuild the algorithmic fungible token, rebuild the project ecosystem, and rebuild independence.
So I wanted to stop it there just to kind of give you an understanding, or kind of reiterate what they said about the 99%. Let's not soften that any more than it needs to be. 99% is a lot of the community. We care about this. We care about the 1.2%. We care about burning off the overall amount. And you see how or supply. You see how people of the Terra Rebels, the leaders of the Terra Rebels, the people that are, creating all these proposals, creating the roadmap, aren't really focusing on the fact that the CEXs aren't really implementing the 1.2% burn tax. They're focused on implementing it on chain and then doing everything they wanted to do on chain as well. They're not really focused on what these CEXs do. They're focused on what the community wants, the community does. It's a lot to take in when you think about that. But it's not as complicated as a lot of people are making it seem. So obviously, I want the CEXs to do the 1.2% burn tax, because the faster we burn, the faster we get to the point that we want to get to. But they're not looking at it like it's the end of the world if they don't do it. That's what's interesting.
Independence. Rebuild the algorithmic fungible token, AFT. As noted by Alex Forshaw, the past Terra swap mechanism was able to reduce the Luna supply by approximately 50% over an 18-month period. There were obvious flaws in the previous system, leading to the hyperinflation of Luna and collapse of USD, but nonetheless it is likely our best shot in drastically reducing the total supply. How Terra's burn used to work. Twitter, at 4lex_4sh4w_tr. Medium.com.
So I guess let's look at this really quick just to see. I know it's going to take you how Terra's ecosystem used to work. If you want to look at that, you can definitely go ahead and take a look at that. We don't have time to really break all of that down. But yeah, I'll leave the article. I'll leave the link to this article down below, and I'll have a link to other spaces as well.
Medium.com. There are several stages to the rebuilding the market swap. The first is the debt to equity swap in order to repeg the AFT to $1. Most people have heard of government bailouts where some entity steps in and covers the bill. While we could seek a bailout from an external investor or entity, the community would then be beholden to them, whether we like it or not. Decisions about the future of the chain and the AFT would likely be governed by this entity, thus, centralizing decisions and power. Therefore, the ideal situation is similar in principle to the burn tax. Everyone in the community can shoulder the burden. This process would either require a certain percent dilution or community fundraising, but would immediately repeg the AFT to $1 and, most importantly, provide substantial immediate collateralization of the AFT. At the time of the debt restructure, the market swap would still be disabled. The REPEG team, led by Forshaw, are working on a significantly strengthened capital control system to dramatically reduce the odds of another death spiral. A large, on-chain, programmatic reserve, meanwhile, would be designed to retire the entire circulating supply of USTC at a volume-weighted average price of around 50 cents. This would not shield LUNC holders from significant losses in the event of a systemic crisis, but it would make a hyperinflationary scenario theoretically impossible. The timeline of this plan takes place in several pieces, with the first steps occurring before the end of 2022. Stay tuned for more details as they become available.
See, that's the thing that I don't truly understand how that's going to be great for Lunic. I understand bringing UST or USTC back to the dollar state, but I don't understand how that's going to help out USTC, help out Lunic in a large way. Because if you are finding a way to get this, algorithmic fungible token. Algorithmic fungible token. I'm struggling saying that time and time again. To $1, then what's keeping that at that level of $1? What's backing that? Is it real money? Is it, are we looking at the same algorithm that's in place? Because if that's the case, Lunic is at such a low level that minting anything new in Lunic would kind of decrease or be what's it called? Diluting. There we go. It would be a dilution to Terra Luna Classic, and a large dilution to Terra Luna Classic. That's what I'm not really truly understanding, and I've seen this multiple times, this plan, but it just really doesn't fully line up with me, and maybe I'm missing something somewhere, and it's understandable if I am.
Available. The road ahead: red pill, blue pill, or green pill. Twitter at 4lex_4sh4w_tr. Medium.com. Rebuild the project ecosystem. In our previous timeline, we had proposed to explore technological parity with Luna v2 sometime mid-2023 in order to facilitate the growth of utility. We are excited to share that this has been fast-tracked. We are implementing this now. There were a series of fortunate events that made this possible. Inter-block communication. Back in May when the DPEG happened, the inter-blockchain communication, IBC, protocol was shut down between Osmosis and Terra. This software patch was delivered in a permanent way, meaning the re-enablement of IBCs would not be a trivial flip of the switch. As time went on, and the recovery of Luna Classic became a reality, users with trapped liquidity, about 41B LUNC and 158M USTC, vocalized their desire to reopen the IBC channel. Several weeks ago, Osmosis Grants reached out to Jacob Gadikian, renowned Cosmos developer, to assist with the effort. Since then, we have been in close communication with Jacob and his team. Not only will Jacob be assisting with the reopening of IBCs but will also clean up the chain. As of our last meeting a week ago, we could expect these changes within the next few weeks. That being said, there is still a significant amount of testing and migration that needs to be done, so the deployment of the changes is still several months away. Upgrades and utility. The chain cleanup involves quite a number of changes. Some of the changes have already been proposed as can be seen in the following pull requests. Merge first. Reopen channel 14920 by cat sark middle. Pull request number 34 middle. Terra rebels / classic core. Summary of changes. What changed? Reopen channel 1. Summary of changes number 28. Gothium is occurring the Luna Classic chain on par with Luna V Classic by fat middle. Pull request number 31 middle. Terra rebels / classic core. Summary of changes number 28. This brings this repository.
So that's one downfall of the reading, is that it reads everything, so you have to skip it a little bit.
Repository current with the one deployed by Terraform Labs. We shouldn't let. GitHub.com. Other changes include moving to full compatibility with Cosmos v45.8 and Tendermint v0.34. This would bring the Luna Classic chain on par with Luna v2, enabling Project D apps to develop once and deploy twice. With the technological gap closed, we expect to dramatically increase the number of projects supported in the Classic ecosystem. There is one catch. Many third parties that have offered help have expressed that we should be completely independent of TFL. All this leads us to our next objective: rebuild independence. On September 14, a warrant was issued by South Korean authorities for the arrest of Do Kwon and 5 other members of Terraform Labs, TFL. Naturally, many questions regarding the relationship between TFL, Do Kwon, and Luna Classic were raised and concerns about any connections were voiced. Similarly, Jacob Gadikian would conditionally help us if we stand as an independent blockchain. While the Luna Classic blockchain is completely independent, and no one person or entity has the control or authority to dictate the fate of this chain, there are some current off-the-blockchain dependencies that we would like the community to be aware of, and offer some ideas on moving towards full decentralization.
So yeah, that's one thing that I know that people were kind of questioning and saying, if Do Kwon, gets arrested, if everybody gets arrested, what happens, with Terra Luna Classic? And Terra Luna Classic is a community-led coin, but does have obviously the backing of TFL and a large backing of TFL. So you have to find a way to not say rid the blockchain of that, but find a way to separate it at least a little bit.
Decentralization. Light Client Daemon, LCD. Many people do not know what happened behind the scenes on the evening of August 26, when the community code revived the blockchain. A few days before, Vegas had a conversation with a member of TFL where they told him that TFL policy was to sunset support for the public infrastructure supporting Luna Classic. This was no surprise. Their focus was building on Luna v2, and thus, public-facing endpoints, like the LCD, would eventually shut down. Vegas was also told that the costs of running this infrastructure was hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. We brainstormed some ideas, but, since the LCD was still up and running for the foreseeable future, and August 26 was right around the corner, we continued to focus our efforts on obtaining 2/3 voting power necessary to upgrade the blockchain. On the morning of August 26, 8 hours before the blockchain breaking change, we received the news that TFL would not upgrade the LCD endpoint. This would not break the blockchain, but it would require major updates to the functionality of Terra Station. I had secured a full node sync to the blockchain and could use that temporarily as a fallback with some very inconvenient workarounds in the existing app. Also, my LCD node was not production ready, had limited resources, and certainly could not support the nearly 1.5 million operations needed to be serviced per hour. In addition, DApps and smaller central exchanges that point to lcd.terra.dev to query information about the blockchain would no longer work properly. In a last-ditch effort, Vegas attempted to contact Do Kwon, and Rexys contacted Lunk Dao. Each reached out to their respective contacts. Within the next hour, we received word that Paul Kim from TFL upgraded the public-facing infrastructure. Only an hour later, governance was restored, and everyone was able to interface seamlessly with the blockchain. Today, it is crystal clear that we needed to host our own LCD and transition off TFL's LCD endpoint. Over the past month, Terra Rebels and Terrakvita have been gathering information about traffic, hosting, and costs to run our own endpoints. For the short term, we are looking at a backup LCD and have gained information and support from validators, Allnodes, Seton, and Autism Staking. Backup nodes with redundancy and load balancing are in the final testing phase, but should be production ready soon. When announced, we will encourage everyone to transition to the new, community-owned and run LCD. Thank you to the validators for supporting this initiative. Terra Station Wallet is another critical application that we do not have full control over.
That would be good, obviously, if the community holds, a lot of control. If it's owned by the community, that's way bigger than what we've seen in the past, and how many people or how many steps of approval it really needed. I mean, yes, a lot of steps of approval is obviously great, but steps of approval in places where people are not, maybe TFL and everybody in TFL just no longer exists in that area. Let's just say that's the case. That wouldn't be a good situation for us as a part of the community. Wouldn't be good, but they're trying to figure something out.
This was evidenced last week when our front-end team needed to correct some failed gas transactions on the platform due to the tax upgrade. We have been exploring different options, including creating our own Rebel Station wallet, as well as investigating third-party wallets popular on the Cosmos ecosystem, e.g., Kepler Wallet. We have working prototypes and builds of each of these options, but will require further integration testing before they are ready for production. Fund the community pool. Finally, independence comes at a cost. The backup full node will require funding to continue to operate, especially if it becomes the primary node and needs to service a significant portion of the DApps and sexes traffic. We need to attract more developers to support the chain and prevent talent from leaving. We need to incentivize projects and DApps to bring their ideas and build a rich, thriving ecosystem of activity to the chain. The easiest funding mechanism, just a parameter change, is to take a small portion of the burn to fund the community pool, and already, we are seeing spontaneous discussions around governance to raise funds for the community pool. Preliminary budgets show that even a small 5 to 10% redirection will be more than sufficient to build our reserves. In closing, I would like to share our vision and major milestones we would like to achieve in the next year. Please note that the directions presented here are all proposed changes. Any alteration to the blockchain will require the community to pass a successful governance vote. Our roadmap is accessible in our website linked below. Terra Rebels. United we stand.
All right. So going through all of that, I mean, it's a lot of information, a ton of information, but mainly you can look at that they're trying to turn this into something that is fully community led. Because where we are right now, everything that we've done right now that we've been able to build has been because of the community that's been able to approve it. Based on governance, we've been able to approve a lot of things and show that we are in support of a ton of things. Whether it is the 1.2% burn tax or staking or change proposals, whatever it actually is, we're showing how much we actually support not only Terra Luna Classic, but the people that are investing into it as well. This community is like no other community that I have seen in the past because communities, as you start to see them grow, you see them split apart. You see them start to break up into, bigger forms of, two groups or three groups or smaller groups, I guess, than that larger, like 1 million people that are there. You now have 500,000 and 500,000 or, 250, 250, 250, 250, right? So a lot of times you have a ton of disagreement, but what we are seeing is 99% agreement in most cases, which is really, really good. And I hope it stays that way. Obviously, since everything is, put up to a vote, as things are being played out, it seems as though people support it, even though they may have voted a different way. But most of the people that are voting, you're seeing it 99%, 98%, 90% at minimum, right? So, anyways, I think it's good. I think this is definitely a step forward. We're still right now focusing on the burns, but we do have what the plan is going to be for the future. If you guys want to go through the actual roadmap, we can go through the roadmap. But a lot of it is upgrades and stuff that probably goes a little bit over my head. But anyways, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Sorry, I'm getting calls. And if you guys want to check out my other channel that I created, that other channel will be in the description somewhere. So definitely click that. And if you guys want to follow me on Patreon to get early access to those videos and all the other videos I post, feel free to check out that link in the description. But I'm going to get out of here and I'll catch you in the next one. This is a long one, 18 minutes.